Hi children, welcome to digital classes. Today I am going to explain the session of earth movements and seasons. Students, take your fair notes and make a note of doubts and important points. After completion of this session, you can clarify those doubts from your teacher. Students, which season we are experiencing now? It is rainy season. Learning outcomes from this lesson. Students explain about different seasons occurring at different places across the world. They analyze the globe and continents on the globe in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. They explain about climate at polar regions. They compare climate at polar regions with the climate at their local places. Students, observe the picture in figure 3.1 of your textbook of a tree in Lancaster, USA in 4 seasons. This is the picture which is available in your textbook. This is one tree which has experienced the 4 seasons. There are 4 seasons. What are they? There are winter, spring, summer, autumn. Let us discuss each season with individual picture of figure 3.1. Winter season. This picture depicts winter season. It is the coldest season where trees and plants lie dormant and are inactive. Why trees and plants lie dormant and why are they inactive? Because due to severe cold, the photosynthesis does not take place. Plants remain dormant because due to lack of photosynthesis process. Here is the GK question for you children. Which is the coldest country in the world? Russia is the coldest country in the world. Dash crop is best suitable for growing in winter season. It is the wheat is best suitable for growing in winter season because for the germination of wheat seed it requires low temperatures. So that is the reason wheat crop is best suitable for growing in winter season. Summer season. This picture depicts the summer season. Trees keep growing and they produce flowers and fruits. Which is the hottest country in the world? Burkina Faso in West Africa is the hottest country in the world. The average yearly temperature is 82.85 degree Fahrenheit or 28.25 degree centigrade. Spring season. This picture depicts the spring season. Trees start growing and new leaves are sprouted. Autumn season. This picture depicts the autumn season. The trees stop growing, the leaves turn into yellow, red, orange before falling off. Which is the highest and lowest rainfall country in the world? The highest is Colombia in South America continent, whereas lowest is Chile in South America continent. Here the highest and lowest rainfall country in the world belongs to same continent, but there is a lot of difference. Why there is a difference between both these countries? Because Colombia is near to the equator whereas Chile is far away to the equator. It means the regions which are near to the equator experience severe hot and thick rainfall, whereas the regions which are far away from the equator experience low rainfall. Autumn season. Wettest place in India is Masinram in Meghalaya. The average annual rainfall in Telangana is dash 905 millimeters. Observe the globe children. Here is a globe. The globe is in the shape of a circle. The globe is divided into two equal parts by the equator 0° latitude. You can see the cursor on the screen. The 0° latitude is dividing the earth into two equal halves. The region above the equator is called as northern hemisphere and the region below the equator is called as southern hemisphere. On 23½ north latitude, we can see Tropic of Cancer. On 66½ north latitude, it is called as Arctic Circle. At the 90 degrees, we can see North Pole here. Whereas coming to the southern hemisphere, on 23½ south latitude, we observe Tropic of Capricorn. At 66½ south latitude, we observe Arctic Circle. At the 90 degrees south region, we observe South Pole. At both the sides of the equator, this region is called as torrid zone or tropical belt. In this region, there is a thick rainfall, severe hot climate. When there is a thick rainfall, obviously there is a dense forest resulting into animals and insects like anacondas, leopards, monkeys and different type of dangerous insects. If you move to the above the Tropic of Cancer, you can see north temperate zone, and if you see beneath of the Tropic of Capricorn, you can see south temperate zone. Above the Arctic Circle, this is frigid zone. At the southern hemisphere, below the Antarctic Circle, you can observe south frigid zone or the Antarctic Ocean. The globe is divided into two equal halves by the equator 0° latitude. The northern part of the equator is called northern hemisphere and southern part of the equator is called as southern hemisphere. The cycle of seasons in the countries of northern hemisphere is different from the countries in the southern hemisphere. When northern hemisphere has winter, the southern hemisphere has summer. When southern hemisphere has winter, the northern hemisphere has summer. Now students, observe the political map of the world. Here where I am putting my cursor, this is the 0° latitude, which is dividing the earth into two equal parts, isn't it? Now above the equator, as I say to you, this is the northern hemisphere. Below to the equator, this is the southern hemisphere. We will find out the continents in northern hemisphere and the continents in the southern hemisphere and the continents which are on the ideas of the equator. If you see to the north of the equator, there is North America with countries like here with these three countries, this is a Northern America. Whereas if you move or if you see the cursor pointing at Europe continent, these two continents, Europe as well as North America, are in the northern hemisphere. Whereas coming to the south of the equator, we can observe the Australian continent. Here I am pointing the cursor there, and Antarctica Circle. Both these continents are lying to the south of the equator. Then what about the continents which are on the ideas of the equator? That is the South America. You can see this is the equator. It is passing through the South America, Africa and as well as Asian countries. So these are the three countries on the ideas of the equator. Let us, by most standards, how many continents are there? There are 7 continents: Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America and South America. The Continents which are located to the north of the equator are North America and Europe. The continents which are located entirely to the south of the equator, that is Australia and Antarctica. The continents which are spread on both the ideas of north and south of the equator are South America, Africa, Asia. Have you observed, children? Then, as I said to you in the earlier slides, there is a picture depicting various seasons. This one tree has experienced 4 seasons. Then why it has experienced the 4 seasons? There are factors affecting the seasons. Then what are those factors? How many factors are there? There are 4 factors affecting the seasons. The first one, the spherical shape of the earth and the curvature of the earth. You observe the figure, ma. The earth is in a spherical shape, isn't it? Yes or not? Then rotation of the earth on its own axis. Here, if you observe this image, the earth is rotating. Imagine yourself, children, the earth is rotating in which direction? From west to east. And you can also observe in this image that half of the portion is facing to the light and the remaining half portion is facing to the darkness. The earth rotates from west to east direction. When it rotates, what happens? It results in formation of days and nights. For one day, for one rotation of the earth on its own axis, how much time does it take? It takes 24 hours. What would happen if the earth did not rotate? The portion of the earth facing the sun experienced day bringing continuous warmth, the other half would remain in darkness and freezing cold all the time. Life would not have been possible in such extreme conditions. The earth rotates from dash direction to dash direction, west direction to east direction. The earth rotation results in formation of days and nights. For one rotation it takes how many hours, Amma? It takes 24 hours. The third point, the earth is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degree. If you observe this map or image, you can see the earth is tilted. Tilted means the earth is little bit slanting direction. So it is called as tilted. The angle is how much? 23.5 degree. This is also one of the factor for affecting the seasons. The earth's movement around the sun once a year, it is called revolution. Children, this is the sun. The sun is the constant one, whereas the earth, it is putting rounds round the sun. Are you able to observe? The earth movement around the sun once a year, it is called revolution. For one revolution, earth takes how many days? It takes 365 days, 6 hours. Factors affecting seasons are: the first one, the spherical shape of the earth and the curvature of the earth. Second factor, rotation of the earth on its own axis. Third one, the earth is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degree. The fourth factor, the earth's movement around the sun once a year, it is revolution. The movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit is called as revolution. Students, observe this image. The earth is putting rounds around the sun. When it is moving, seasons are occurred. The Earth takes 365 days, 6 hours per one revolution. Leap year means 6 hours saved every year are added to make one day 24 hours over a span of 4 years. This surplus day is added to the month of February for every 4 years. Such a year with 366 days is called a leap year. So, every 4 years on February we observe 29th February. Seasons in the northern and southern hemisphere. Observe the figure 3.3 in your textbook. What changes occur on March 21st and on September 23 and on June 21st and on December 22? Observe this image, children. Now, in the next slides, I am going to explain what happens on March 21st and September 23 and on June 21st and December 22. At this position, I am able to tell June 21st. Students, observe the figure 3.3, seasons in the north and south hemisphere of your textbook. Observe the dates here. It is March 21st and this is September 23, whereas here is June 21 and here is December 22. When the earth is moving around the sun, what happens? What are the seasons? Now I am going to explain in individual slides. Before going to that, on June 21st we will discuss in the northern hemisphere is facing summer season, whereas in the southern hemisphere it is facing winter season. Whereas in December month the northern hemisphere is experiencing winter season and in southern hemisphere it is experiencing summer season. Equinoxes. What are equinoxes? On March 21st and September 23, the sun rays fall vertically on all the latitudes of the earth. You can observe on Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle. The sun rays are falling vertically on all the latitudes. So, days and nights are equal on both these days, that is March 21st and September 23. On March 21st and September 23, direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. So, the whole earth experiences equal days and equal nights. This is called an equinox. What happens on June 21? Sun on the Tropic of Cancer. When what changes we see in northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere? Children, observe this image carefully. What is happening? In the northern hemisphere it is summer season, whereas in southern hemisphere it is winter season. Polar days, at polar regions there is daylight for 6 months, whereas some countries beyond the Arctic Circle they experience daylight for 24 hours. North Pole experiences daylight for few months, then snow melts and small plants grow here in the northern hemisphere. That is the Arctic Circle, whereas the Antarctic Circle it is completely frozen and this part remains in darkness for complete 6 months, whereas this part experiences daylight and this part southern hemisphere Antarctic region experiences darkness. We can observe 24 hours of daylight on the Arctic Circle. Observe the Arctic Circle here, 66.5 north latitude. There is a 24 hours of daylight. Whereas Antarctica region, it is completely dark. Why Norway is called land of midnight sun? The North Pole is inclined towards the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experiences continuous daylight for about 6 months. Hence, Norway is called as land of midnight sun. Here, Norway is located in this region near the Arctic Circle. So, that is the reason Norway is called as land of midnight sun. What happens on December 22 when sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn? The Arctic Circle is experiencing, or the northern hemisphere is experiencing winter season, and the southern hemisphere is experiencing summer season. If you observe in the northern hemisphere, it is completely darkness. It will remain darkness for complete 6 months, whereas the Antarctic region experiences daylight now. The Antarctica ice melts and new plants grow. The continents in the northern hemisphere experiences winter from November to January. The continents in southern hemisphere is experiencing summer season. Here, this region is the southern hemisphere. It is experiencing summer season. Students, are you able to see my cursor? I am pointing at the southern hemisphere, isn't it? This region experiences summer season, whereas this region, it is experiencing winter and it is completely dark. The North Polar region is away from the sun during winter and does not get sunshine for few months. This North Polar region, what happens? It is experiencing winter season and does not get sunshine for few months. Children, here is an application for you. Which of the following country celebrate Christmas in summer season? Option A, India. Option B, USA. Option C, Britain. Option D, Australia. Generally, we Indians observe Christmas in winter season, that is, Christmas falls on 25th December, isn't it? But the question is, which of the following country celebrate Christmas in summer season? Why? Why they celebrate? Because if you observe India, here is India, and USA, here is USA, and Britain, here is Britain, Ireland. All these countries are located in northern hemisphere. In northern hemisphere, it is winter season in December, whereas the southern hemisphere is experiencing summer season. So that is the reason Australia celebrates Christmas in summer season. This is the globe. Equator 0 degree latitude, Tropic of Cancer 23.5 north latitude, Arctic Circle 66.5 north latitude, 23.5 south, Tropic of Capricorn, 66.5 Antarctic Circle. Now, the region from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, this is called as torrid zone or the tropical belt. What is this zone called, Amma? Torrid zone or tropical belt. Children, observe the image of climatic seasons all over the world. Climatic belts on the globe. On 23.5 north latitude, here is the Tropic of Cancer. Children, observe the cursor. On 23.5 degree south latitude is the Tropic of Capricorn. Here is the Tropic of Capricorn. The belt extending from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn is called the tropical belt or torrid belt. Students, observe the political map of India. The Tropic of Cancer is passing from 8 states of India. This is the Tropic of Cancer latitude, 23.5 north. The Tropic of Cancer passes from Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. Based on this, I am going to put one question to you. Where is the Telangana located? Above to the Andhra Pradesh. Here is the Telangana. Students, observe the cursor carefully. Here is the Telangana. Above to the Andhra Pradesh and below to the Tropic of Cancer. It is below to the Tropic of Cancer. Find out if Telangana falls on the tropical belt, torrid belt or in the temperate belt. Telangana falls in the tropical belt, torrid belt because Telangana is located below to the Tropic of Cancer. On 66.5 degree north latitude is the Arctic Circle. On 66.5 degree south latitude is the Antarctic Circle. As we move northwards of or southwards of the tropical belt, torrid belt, we reach a region where it gets warm in summer and cold in winters. This is a temperate zone. The northern portions of this region gets snowfall in winters. Polar regions on the globe. If you move further north or south of the temperate belt, you will reach the polar regions. Polar region on the globe. The seasons in this region are very peculiar. This region is away from the sun during winter months and does not get any sunshine in the day. That is, for 6 months there is no sunshine on the poles. For the next 6 months, it constantly faces the sun throughout the 24 hours of a day. There is no night or darkness. Polar regions. For 6 months, it is freezing cold, so cold that an entire Arctic Ocean remains frozen throughout the year. There are 6 seasons of Indian climate as per the Hindu calendar. Spring, Vasanta Rituvu, summer, Grishma Rituvu, monsoon, Varsha Rituvu, autumn, Sharad Rituvu, pre-winter, Hemanta Rituvu, winter, Shishir or Shita Rituvu. Alphelion, the sun is far away from the sun on July 4th. Perihelion, the earth is near to the sun on January 4th. This image is of Antarctic glacier loss. Quick quiz for you children. How many days does it take to go around the sun? Option A 300 days, 365 1/4 days, 368 days, 3000 days. The answers are given in the next slides. The reason we have seasons is because the earth is a pie, B tilted, C melting, D water. The earth rotates from dash direction to dash direction, east to west, north to south, south to north, west to east. The speed of earth rotation in kilometer 1620 kmph, 1630 kmph, 1640 kmph, 1670 kmph. Drawing skill. Children, draw the world map roughly and look at the continents. Draw a circle and draw the latitude of the equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. Evaluation. Define Earth rotation, define Earth revolution, explain about different seasons occurring at different places across the world. For better understanding